Let me tell you something. New York is the greatest city in the world, my city. I was a kid in these streets, and I made it to the top. I made my bones doing a piece of work for Don Carlo Gambino. Like that, I became a made man.
Dad, I'm thinking maybe take a year off.
Why, you want to hang out with me?
Do you know what you're doing to this family?
I will build something that nobody can destroy.
Salute.
In your last couple of major roles, you portrayed real people. As an actor, do you find it easier or more difficult to create a character that is real like John Gotti versus a fictional role?
I like portraying real historical characters because I did Bill Clinton,
Yeah.
Robert Shapiro. I like it when they're interesting people and that they have attributes that are so clearly articulated that it gives me something to have fun to convince you that I have become them. And if I can do that, I can invite you to take the journey of the story. And that's its own kind of art, do you know? Of course, original characters are fun too, and I did Edna and Hairspray. I mean, that's an original, you know.
In your meteoric rise of fame from Cotter through Saturday Night Fever, through Grease, through Blowout, how did you maintain a sense of balance even though you were still very young and developing a sense of your own self?
Well, I always had a pretty good sense of who I was, and my family, although show business family, we were all pretty humble by nature, do you know? And then, of course, you know, when I got involved in Scientology when I was 21, that balanced the playing field for me. It helped me stabilize. And so when life went south or got a little dark for me, I could go and get some assistance that helped brighten it up and then start over again, do you know?
Interesting.
So it's all that, I think.
A good spiritual journey as well as a...
Absolutely. I think you have to have one. Whatever it is, you know, you have to have one.
Since you've worked for a number of different and distinctly creative directors over the years, how do you best handle a disagreement over the direction of your performance?
Ah, okay. I've never been asked that
Well,
question.
how about that?
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that when a director hires an actor, they've done 90% of the job by hiring the right actor. If there's a disagreement, if it's too big, they've either cast the wrong person or they never trusted you to begin with.
Interesting.
And so a flag goes up if either of those things happen. So I just try to make sure that the director is crazy about me, trusts me, and is willing to go on any journey I want. Do you know, in Pulp Fiction, Quentin didn't really know what I was doing. He just liked it.
Right.
He just trusted it. He said, I don't know why he's moving so slow and look, you know, doing. He said, but when I put the film together, it all made sense. But I wouldn't have hired John unless I liked the journey he was going to take me on. So even Marlon Brando told me that years ago, that, you know, if a director's not in love with you, it's not going to come off as well. But if they love you, you're going to be trusted.
Sure.
And you're going to give your best, you know?
So awesome.
Yeah.
In a lifetime of extreme success and profound loss, what bit of key philosophy has allowed you to maintain and encourage your personal journey?
In the face of loss, let's say.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to go there.
Well, certainly, the world is a world filled with trauma and loss and the opposite. So you have to have the tools to be prepared to deal with rough times. Everybody does. I found that, as I said earlier in Scientology, I found the tools I needed to deal with rough times. So that's probably, you know, my stable thinking on that.
You just talked about Brando. Who have you met in your career that you really wanted to meet, and how was that experience?
Jimmy Cagney, when I was little.
Nice!
I loved him, and then when I was 20-something, I went out of my way to meet him, and I knew him for 5 years before he passed, and he was a good friend.
Brilliant.
Brando. God, there's so many. Cary Grant and Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire. You got to be with all those guys. Barbara Stanwyck.
You're very lucky.
Yeah, I was lucky.
border.
You fight till you can't fight no more. Never back off, ever.